Welcome to Iraqi Dinar Update, your go-to source for the latest news, expert insights, and real-time developments on Iraq's currency, economy, and financial reforms. Whether you're a long-time investor or just curious about the dinar, you're in the right place. When it comes to exchanging currency, especially in high-stakes or uncertain situations, the choice of where to go and how many institutions to involve isn't just a matter of convenience, it's a question of trust, strategy, and prudence. Imagine standing at the edge of a significant financial decision, one that could affect your future or the future of your family. The most natural instinct in such a case is to be cautious. Trust is earned, and in matters of finance, misplaced trust can be costly. So, when faced with the task of exchanging currency, perhaps a sizable amount, or a rare or politically sensitive one, the idea of going to many banks instead of relying on just one isn't merely a matter of splitting hairs. It's a matter of good judgment and strategic thinking. Who is genuinely helpful? In that process, you empower yourself to make a better-informed decision. The scattered approach, ironically, brings more focus to the truth of your situation. Some might argue that spreading out your efforts makes things more complicated. True, diversity of effort requires more time, more planning, more work. But the trade-off is safety. Imagine a scenario where a major financial event occurs. Sudden sanctions, market freezes, cyber attacks on specific institutions. If all your currency exchange was routed through a single bank and that bank is affected, you lose access. You lose options. But if you've already established relationships or partial exchanges through others, your exposure to loss is minimized. Redundancy is not wasteful when the stakes are high, it's essential. Now think about the psychological aspect. Trust in a financial institution is not blind faith. It should be based on transparency, consistent behavior, and accountability. A single institution may tell you what you want to hear, but multiple banks may reveal a more complex picture. Just as a lone voice in a room may echo clearly, it may not be the voice of truth. But when many voices are heard, and they align, or sharply contrast, you learn who's aligned with facts, and who's aligned with a script. Imagine further that the currency in question isn't mainstream. Maybe it's something like the Iraqi dinar, a currency whose valuation is subject to speculation, geopolitical influence, and reform. Some banks might not want to touch it. Others may offer rates that feel suspiciously skewed. If you trust only one source, you become vulnerable to whatever intentions, policies, or misjudgments are at play there. But if you distribute your inquiry and action across multiple institutions, you not only create a buffer against bad outcomes, you gain clarity from the comparison itself. There's also a personal dimension to this. Every human being has to navigate the difficult balance between trust and skepticism. Most of us grow up learning to trust authority, teachers, leaders, institutions. But adulthood demands discernment. You realize, over time, that no entity is beyond scrutiny. Banks, despite their appearance of power and stability, are businesses. They serve shareholders, follow protocols, and are often shaped more by regulation than by a customer's unique situation. Knowing that, it becomes not only logical but necessary to distribute your trust, not as a cynical act, but as a wise one. And think about historical precedents. How many stories have we heard of individuals who put their trust in one institution, be it a bank, a government, or a broker, only to lose everything when that institution collapsed or betrayed them? Think about the 2008 financial crisis, where trusted banks crumbled, and millions lost savings, homes, and futures. The lesson: trust no longer lives in the brand name or the marble lobby. It lives in verifiable performance, in reputation built over time, in systems that are stress-tested, and in your own due diligence. That doesn't mean you need to live in fear or act like everyone is out to deceive you. It just means that smart decision-making involves layers of protection. A good general not only spreads his troops, he also prepares contingency plans. He studies the terrain. He sends scouts. He reads intelligence. And most importantly, he remains nimble. Financially, you need the same agility. Engaging with multiple banks for a currency exchange gives you not just better options, it keeps you adaptable. One bank says no. Fine, another says yes. One gives a poor rate. Another gives better. One requires absurd documentation. Another has a streamlined process. That flexibility is power. Another factor is the changing nature of regulation. In some regions or during certain political shifts, what's legal today might be restricted tomorrow. Sanctions appear overnight. Currency controls tighten suddenly. If you've already built a broad base of options, Those changes don't paralyze you. You're already ahead of the curve. You're not starting from scratch. You're adapting in real time. This also ties into the very human desire for control. Money, for many people, is more than numbers. It represents effort, dreams, plans. When you put that into a system, especially one outside your full understanding or control, you feel vulnerable. The antidote to that vulnerability isn't to retreat from the system, but to intelligently navigate it. Multiple banks, multiple paths, multiple checks. That's how you take control back. You aren't just reacting, you're directing the process. You're saying, I will not hand over my power to one institution, no matter how shiny its logo or how friendly its representatives. In this sense, the process becomes not just about currency exchange, it becomes a personal policy, a lifestyle of informed skepticism, a refusal to be corralled into simplicity when the truth demands complexity. You begin to see that spreading your efforts is a mindset, one that transcends finance and influences all decision-making, relationships, health, work, even time management. You become the kind of person who doesn't just hope things will go right. You plan so that even if things go wrong, you're covered. And perhaps the most important point is this: no one will ever care about your money as much as you do. Not your banker, not your advisor, not your government. That's not a criticism of them. It's just the nature of the world. They have other clients, other obligations. But you are the guardian of your own financial fate. So why not act like a guardian? Why not scout all paths, test all waters, explore all doors? In conclusion, the choice to go to many banks to exchange currency isn't about fear. It's about strategic resilience. It's about gathering information, maintaining flexibility, avoiding dependency, and ensuring that you have every advantage available in a system that doesn't always prioritize your individual success. It's about thinking like a general in a war where the battlefield is economic, the troops are your resources, and the outcome is your future stability. Don't send all your troops to one place. Don't trust one bank. Trust the process you've created, a process grounded in wisdom, comparison, and control. Thanks for tuning into Iraqi Dinar Update. If you found this content helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a beat on Iraq's evolving financial landscape. Stay informed and stay ready.